As we have gathered together this morning on a city level with all the different regions and local fraternals coming together, there were specific things that the Lord placed upon our hearts, and things that we prayed for was that God will unite the church in the city to come to a place of oneness and agreement, and that we were praying for that. Of course, we prayed for the educational sphere in the city, that God will continue to develop and continue to grow that what He's already doing in the city. We also prayed for the welfare of the citizens in the city. That includes all the NGOs and everything that has to do with that. You will remember that government made a statement that they're going to withdraw all the funding for the children and the homeless and the orphans and those people. So there was a lot of prayers, and we are actually seeing also the church coming together to also become a voice to the government in terms of the pleas that they need to rescind that decision, and we need to be in the position and the place to take care of our children. So the church now also has become a voice. We are very careful that we don't want to see this being politicized, as has been happening with some of the organizations, but we don't want to do that. The decision was made that we will send a letter to government stating our position and our concerns regarding this, but not with any political agenda or politicizing of anything. The other thing that we discussed also was that winter is approaching, and as always, when winter is coming, there's a great need for blankets, for warm clothing. So everyone has been encouraged to also, as part of your program for the year, if there is any donations and anything, that we will centralize it and then make it available. Especially for us as a small household, it's easier to just give it to one of the larger networks. So if you want to donate anything in terms of welfare, in terms of the winter approaching, please contact me directly, and we will send it to the correct ministry that is running with this mandate within the CMC, and so that it can be effective. There's also a recognition that the things that God has highlighted, the spheres of influence that God is highlighting at the moment in the church in the city, is that of the church that we need to pray for. We need to pray for government. We need to pray for education. And then we need to pray for our business fraternals. We've seen some beautiful things taking place from the businesses, some initiatives. One of them will be the Pretoria Moot cleanup. It's on Facebook. You're welcome to go and have a look at it. It's amazing the work that these guys have been doing over the past year, and I really encourage you to support that as well. Then there's some important dates that I want you to make a note of. I think all of you know Louis Giglio and the Passion thing. Now they will be here in next year on the 16th of February. And we, as the church in the city, has been invited to be part of that thing. And we are given a slot, and that will take place on the 16th of February 2024. So I encourage you to make note of that date so that you can avail yourself to attend that meeting. It will take place on Loftus Versveld. As time approaches, we will definitely make this information available as it becomes, the program becomes available. We will do that. This is very much in the planning stage, and the guys are going to gather, I think, somewhere in October to finalize the planning of this great event. Then on the 16th of August of this year, it's a National Movement Day. It's going to take place at Midstream, and also we are engaging with other cities in the process. It's called Movement Day Africa. You can go and look at their website at movement.org and to find out more about that. Again, as more information becomes available, we will make that available to you, but the gathering will take place at Midstream here in Tshwane. And I also encourage you to make a note of that date and to avail yourself on that date to be available to attend that, because it's just such a powerful demonstration of God's heart, not only for the city, but also for Africa. This day is going to be recorded, and it's going to be broadcasted across 20 countries up in Africa. So you can imagine what an awesome event this is going to be. Then there's some celebrations that's going to take place. It's not organized by Love Tswane Forum, but it is organized by other organizations. The TLF is its Pastors Building Network is having and hosting that event that I've already advertised it to you before on the 20th of May. It is the one that's called Fathers Matter, where we address the whole issue of absent fathers and fathering as such. And I greatly encourage you to become part of that, to involve yourself, to attend it. It will be hosted at the Levende Woord Church in Tshwane.
Becoming a father. Wow.
My memories from that time are kind of just hazy bliss.
An average African man does not go to the delivery ward. I must say it was an amazing moment for me. In fact, my son was not ready to come out until I came.
Raising a child is not like easy as you see when you see it maybe on television and all that.
My dad never misses an opportunity to say, you're gorgeous, you're intelligent, you are everything in a bag of chips. Having my dad around was so important because he taught me what I'm worth from the perspective of a male.
My heart was broken for the first time. I spoke to my dad about it, gave me advice.
Fatherhood is less about doing, it's also a lot more about being.
He has given me a lot of strength.
My grandpa is very nice and I love him and he's in heaven.
A lot of the qualities and values that are embedded in me today came from mom and my dad. So if I play the guitar, my dad actually plays the guitar.
I like to play music with him.
I'm a good footballer, or I think I am.
We win against him. I'm scared of going alone at the shops. Daddy, don't leave me. He takes us to fun places.
It's a great joy to be a grandparent. It's fighting on the bed, it's running around the house.
When he's sleeping, I just bang him on the bum with a pillow.
I try to change things. I want the best for my kids.
I live with my mom, granny, and that's it.
My father was not in the picture because when things ended between him and my mom, went and got married, so he had a whole family of his own. He had made no efforts to try and find me. You know, was I not worthy of being found?
My sister and I grew up with my mother, and my brother, he was with us until primary school, and then he went to go live with my father.
At the age of 15, my family basically exploded. As an intimate, ongoing presence, he disappeared from my life at that point.
My father being present in my life, no ways. I don't even know him.
My dad, he spent much of his time in Johannesburg seeking for a job. I was still young when he moved from Venda to Johannesburg. He struggled to get a job.
Luckily enough, unlike some of my siblings, I was introduced to my father. He would come to the yard, say hello, and that was it.
In the work that I do with offenders, you can see that there's a huge gap that is missing. Like you see that a father figure is needed for them to be better persons.
I don't remember much of my childhood, and I think it's mainly because my mum died when I was about 5.5. Yeah, I think I was 12 when my dad got remarried, and that's when things got really rocky.
I was pretty convinced that all families were doomed to failure.
When he was born, it was an amazing moment of being there in the delivery ward, seeing him come into the world. Why would a father abandon their own seed like that? Such a beautiful miracle.
My mother was overseas for most of my childhood, so my dad basically became my primary caregiver.
We had an awful 3-year period where my dad and I didn't speak to each other. The thing I learned about that is it's never too late to rebuild relationships that are damaged or broken.
I'm still making peace now. I mean, I have a wonderful husband with 2 children, and I watch my daughter and how she is with her father, and that is part of making peace for me.
My dad he's a life changer.
God, thank you for the opportunity and the privilege of being a father.
If I could be a tenth of what my father was, I'll probably be the best father in the world.
And then on the 16th of June, also at Leeuwenhoek, specifically focused on the youth for that day, is what they call Godly Revolution, and more information will also be made available to you in due course. So guys, that is basically what our meeting this morning, Kato, all about. And I am very positive. I'm seeing really a tremendous move of God, the guys that is coming together. It's not a lot. I'll show you some of the pictures, as I've said, and I can tell you that it's people whose hearts are turned towards one another and they really have kingdom purpose in their hearts. There's no hidden agendas. And it's such an exciting thing to see what God is doing. As CMC, tomorrow we will be gathering at 11 o'clock, where we are gathering all the social workers that is operating in the Moot, where we will present them with a meal, a nice meal. and also pray with each one of them individually and just touching base with them, listening to their stories and just ministering to them. As I say, this is part of the process of moving towards that place where we engage others in our area where we operate and where we function on a one-on-one basis. Now, I know as sons you are distributed right across the world, and I can only encourage you to start implementing what I'm sharing with you here today in your city, in your town. Get involved and become part of the solution, not the problem. What was also very interesting today, one of the comments that was made that I thought was actually profound, is that whenever we speak about Eskom, there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of things that's being said, you know. But as believers, we believe there's power in what we say. And one of the pastors there raised the question, and I'm leaving this question with you to also ponder on this and meditate upon this. He said to me, if we as believers are going to continue to confess all the negativity around Eskom and the load shedding and the problems that we are experiencing, he asked the question, are we not actually giving momentum to the negative instead of us praying and really engaging in the Spirit for God to turn this situation around? Well, that is it from me for today in terms of feedback to you. I pray that you enjoy it. It gives you just a picture of where we are at and what we are doing. And also, again, I want to encourage you to listen to the messages that is being released. I released the message on impartation yesterday, and by next week, I will release the next installment on impartation. And just for your information as well, we are planning a combined meeting to celebrate Pentecost, also towards the end of May. I can't remember the date now off the cuff. I think it's towards the last weekend in May, the 29th, but I'm speaking under correction. I will put the correct date for you as a banner underneath my name when I edit this video. So that is it for now, guys. I pray that the Lord will bless you and prosper you, and that you will continue to grow in the Lord, and that you will experience the joy of the Lord in your heart and in your life on a daily basis. God bless you, and have a great, great, great day. God bless. Hi guys, I almost forgot. Please keep in mind our street store that's taking place on the 27th of May. You can see the advertisement. So please volunteer your services if you're available, and pray for this, that God will really touch the hearts of those that are attending. God bless.